Hello friends, here I am with another episode of Saturday Wisdom. Today I will speak to you on a concept that is dear to our Honorable Prime Minister called One Nation, One Market, and why not? It has the potential to disrupt the existing markets and realign to think and do business in a way that returns value for everyone. A market is the sum total of all buyers and sellers in an area or region and maybe any space of the earth, any part of the country, region, states or cities. The value, cost and price of items traded will generally follow forces of supply and demand in a market that may be a physical entity or may be virtual or even digital. It may be local or global, perfect or imperfect. Multiple markets evolve when the same product is made to different quality standards, sold at different prices in different locations, supporting different economies. This definition of market dynamics preempts the idea of one market. Undoubtedly, the aim of one market is to unite the country's markets and empower producers and strengthen the consumers. The catch in this, however, is the diverse expectations of the producer and the consumer. A little probing on some aspects that revel in markets or are due to markets reveal different shades of the puzzle. All things are commodities and are traded on their value, both intrinsic and extrinsic, which determines their worth. Let's hear what our Prime Minister says on this important concept.
मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, जब रेल को देखते हैं, डाकघर को देखते हैं, तो हमें भारत की एकता भी नजर आती है। हम जितना ज्यादा भारत को जोड़ने वाले प्रकल्पों को आगे बढ़ाएंगे, हमारी व्यवस्थाओं में बदलाव लाएंगे, देश की एकता को बल देगा। और इसलिए हमने एक किसानों के लिए मंडी इनाम की योजना की है। आज किसान अपना माल ऑनलाइन हिंदुस्तान की किसी भी मंडी में बेच सकता है। अब वो मजबूर नहीं होगा कि अपने खेत से 10 किलोमीटर की दूरी की मंडी पर मजबूरन माल देना पड़े, सस्ते में देना पड़े और उसकी मेहनत की कमाई न हो। अब देश भर में इनाम के द्वारा एक ही प्रकार की मंडी का नेटवर्क खड़ा हो रहा है। जीएसटी के द्वारा टैक्सेशन का एक प्रकार से एक समानता का, समान व्यवस्था का परिणाम आने वाला है, जो भारत जोड़ने का भी एक काम करेगा। हमने बिजली में, आपको हैरानी होगी, एक इलाके में बिजली रहती थी, कोई लेने वाला नहीं था, और दूसरा इलाका बिजली के लिए तड़पता था, अंधेरे में जीता था, कारखाने बंद हो जाते थे। और उसको बदलाव लाने के लिए वन नेशन, वन ग्रिड, वन प्राइस, उसमें हमने सफलता पाई है। और बहुत तेजी से, जो कभी गर्मी में 10 रुपया यूनिट का दाम देना पड़ता था, मैं पिछले दिनों तेलंगाना गया था, उस दिन 1 रुपया 10 पैसा दाम था, जो कभी 10 रुपया हुआ करता था। ये वन प्राइस का परिणाम देश को जोड़ने के लिए काम होता है। हमारे देश का मजदूर एक जगह पे काम करता है, 1-2 साल के बाद नौकरी बदलता है, ईपीएफ में उसका पैसा कटता है, लेकिन पैसा ट्रांसफर नहीं होता था। और आपको हैरानी होगी, जब मैं सरकार में आया, मेरे देश के मजदूरों के 27,000 करोड़ रुपया ईपीएफ में पड़े थे। कोई गरीब मजदूर लेने वाला नहीं था, क्योंकि उसको इस पद्धति नहीं थी। हमने इस समस्या का समाधान करने के लिए एक यूनिवर्सल अकाउंट नंबर दिया हमारे मजदूरों को, और उसके कारण अब उसके पैसे वो जहां जाएगा ईपीएफ का फंड ट्रांसफर होगा, मजदूर जब रिटायर्ड होगा तो उसके रुपये उसके हाथ जाएंगे, किसी सरकारी खजाने में सड़ते नहीं पड़े रहेंगे। उस काम को हमने किया है।
People anywhere on the globe would look for profit and create new markets and revenue models that thrive on profits. Simple market economics. Wealth for people cannot defy laws of nature, law of conservation, and law of mass. Simply put, wealth changes form and custody. Neither is created nor destroyed. Inequalities cannot be bridged if wealth is not distributed. Human beings kill for profit. No other form of life does the same. Hence, an important postulation is that someone makes profit and someone uses wealth. Like all things unequal, the distribution leads to multiple markets and multiple economies, which actually sustains the life cycles. Informal markets, as large as 90%, transgress all dichotomies like IT versus agriculture, rural versus urban, organized versus unorganized, modern versus traditional, English versus vernacular, so on and so forth. Is one market through this maze of business feasible? Is it then an idea that we must explore and adopt? All men are equal, but some are more equal, wrote George Orwell. In an all-time classic, The Animal Farm. Whichever society, wherever located, follows this adage. European Union is on the verge of collapse, and more so its most touted one market theory. When markets and profits are disrupted, countries collapse. Who can forget retail markets virtually collapsing in the onslaught of online marketing models? From an egalitarian perspective, it is fascinating to assume that eventually one market and one tax will prevail. Surge pricing, where a rupees 4,500 flight ticket from Mumbai to Bengaluru on a normal day climbs a pinnacle of 18,000 rupees to 20,000 rupees, almost 400 to 500% increase for a year-end sojourn, or a five-star hotel hiking its tariffs when business peaks on the pressure of traffic, or when prices of vegetables hit the roof in a perceived or deliberate throttle of supplies, is to be seen in this context. In fact, most of these prices vary as if they were petro-commodities, and we know what is currently happening to the petro-commodities as well. Tax also does not seem to be one, for though the percentages may remain same, the surge ensures that the tax amounts also surge. In the education space, assuming that adequate facilities are provided by an institution, why do we need a fee fixation committee to adjudicate the final fees? One market should have ensured people revive the service of a benchmark quality, or receive a service of a benchmark quality at a common market price. Argument of quality seeking a price also is questionable, since no one would hazard the guess on what the benchmark of quality versus price would actually be. In reality, upmarket schools collect a bomb to serve a market that patronizes them. All IIMs, Indian Institute of Managements, have a market-driven fee that includes an apportioned cost to their individual perceived brand value. Can one market not ensure MRP-like fee structure, at least in the education sector? Be that as it may, one market has tremendous opportunities in the agriculture sector. In India, agriculture marketing is administered by the states as per their agri-marketing regulations, under which the state is divided into several market areas, each of which is administered by a separate agricultural produce marketing committee, or as we know, APMC, which imposes its own marketing regulation, including fees. This fragmentation of markets, even within the state, hinders free flow of agri commodities from one market area to another, and multiple handling of agri produce and multiple levels of mandi charges ends up escalating the prices for the consumers without commensurate benefit to the farmer. E-NAM, a Government of India initiative, addresses these challenges by creating a unified market through online trading platform, both at state and the national level, and promotes uniformity, streamlining of procedures across the integrated markets, removes information asymmetry between buyers and sellers, and promotes real-time price discovery based on actual demand and supply. It also promotes transparency in auction process and access to a nationwide market to the farmer, with prices that are commensurate with quality of his produce, and online payment and availability of better quality produce at more reasonable prices to the consumer. Extremely good. Every one of us realizes that quality comes at a price. This is the flip side. The per capita income will decide the facilities that are commensurate with it. Hence, are not multiple markets built into the DNA of our business lives? On the lighter side, subscribing to oneness is fraught with consequences, both real and hilarious. How would it be when any hotel we visit, we get to see on the menu the same dishes, purportedly of the same taste, and also priced the same? A human population as large as 7.6 billion on this planet is not the same. 7.6 billion DNAs control, to be precise. All other life forms, including those which are not visible to us, also carry a unique DNA. How would our planet have looked like if the 7.6 billion had the same DNA? Or for that matter, if we had only men or only women on our streets? The Creator also saw fun in innovative creation that supports multiple life markets. It certainly will be thrilling to believe that all human beings can be bound by a single language. Machines do that. Unicode is a computing industry standard for consistent encoding, representation, and handling of text expressed in most of the world's writing systems. Can we have a Unicode for speech as well? All of us can use it to communicate anywhere or with anybody. In the process, we can use it to create Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Flip side is that many computer languages which allowed us to create most innovative applications have almost become redundant, and our native languages also could follow suit. How does it make any difference as long as we can communicate well? After all, oneness should bind us all. Machines at the end point understand a binary language of a 0 or 1. Two states, irrespective of how we communicate with them, which language we use for them, giving rise to all machines one language concept. A law, one nation, one language concept. However, a tri-state also lives in a machine world, allowing devices to float but always connected. If we were to do this in a human world, our lives would be a lot more interesting. Spying on each other 24/7 without anyone knowing. So much of fun. Variety is the spice of life, is defined in the Cambridge Dictionary as doing different things or often changing what you do that makes life interesting. I would probably be hauled up to the coals if I were to raise a debate on one nation, one God, and actually carry out research to figure out which of our 33 million gods was more powerful and therefore qualify to be the only icon of worship. On the lighter side, for me, anyone is as powerful as the other, as long as he or she grants me my wishes. Volatility in the markets has a direct impact on stocks' performance and annualized returns. Historically, when market performance is positive, volatility will tend to decline. Conversely, with higher volatility, investors experience greater risk, while the market sees a decrease in returns. With the current trend of rise of the stock market, it's been going on for maybe years now, we have to wonder what is causing the lower volatility. One market or our vibrant multiple markets? Often, oneness breeds mediocrity. And we all know mediocrity breeds more mediocrity. This is true whether in markets or in real life. Oscar Wilde once said, "Prayers should never be answered. If they are, then they cease to be prayers and become correspondence." Godly abodes are also marketplaces, in that money and wealth are traded for wishes coming true, with many of them actually creating corpus large enough to buy cities and even countries. Friends, all said and done, one nation, one market must very judiciously be applied in the market space and their supply chains so that benefits accrue to the end user. The effort of our Honorable Prime Minister and the government must certainly be lauded in that context. That's all for Saturday. I will be back again the next Saturday with another interesting episode. Until then, namaskar, dhanyavad, and thank you.